What's up, and welcome back to the Let's Glow Show. It's Amanda Sweet, the creative fairy godmother. And on this show, every single week, we talk to a creative entrepreneur who helps our community get fly, make friends, and save the world through community. And today, I know I say this every week, but today we have a very special guest. Very special guest. This young lady is my sister. I've known her whole life. She has not known me my whole life, but I've known her whole life. And I'm so excited to bring Nerissa Zoller Swarthout to the table. We're gonna talk about what she does and the hustles that she has. But Nerissa, I just gotta say, being in your life. Sorry,
You dare make me cry.
It's like such a joy.
Don't do it.
I love you. I love you. You're amazing. I'm so honored to be your sister, to be in the world with you, to work with you, to create with you. And I just love you. I'm so proud of you. Welcome to the show.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. So excited today.
Y'all will understand as the show goes on why I'm emotional, but I've known Nerissa since she was in diapers, and I got to watch you grow and evolve and turn into this woman who's going after what she wants, taking advantage of life, living every moment to the fullest. And so you inspire me to keep moving. And I was this morning, I was okay, we got 2 Capricorns in the room. Let's fucking go. And so
I say anything's possible with 2 Capricorns in the room.
Listen, so tell the world all of the beautiful things that you do. You do so many things.
I am a woman of many hats. Capricorn to my core, if you will. So my full-time job is I am a travel agent, advisor, interchangeable words, but I am a travel advisor at Departure Travel Management. We have an agency located in downtown Birmingham. So I do work in the house at the agency. I focus mostly on leisure travel, so all the fun stuff. But our agency does have a corporate side too, and helps some pretty big name, companies within the Metro Detroit area and beyond with their corporate travel as well. But I like to stick with the fun kind of stuff. But another hat I wear, I also work at the gym that me and Amanda both work out at, called Bar 3. I work at the front desk on Friday mornings, just helping ladies get settled in, checking them into class, and helping new guests understand the studio and what to do before class. But I love that, just a little way to continue to be engaged in my community with my gym and all that good stuff. And then my last hat that I wear,
not even the last one, but
I was okay. There's other ones, but the actual jobs.
Yes.
I'm a bridal consultant at the White Dress in Brighton. This is a very once in a blue moon kind of job. I only work on Saturdays, so usually only a couple Saturdays a month, not every Saturday. I do like to break and take a breather sometimes. But there at the White Dress, I help women pick out their wedding dresses. So I don't really think of that one as a job. I just find it so fun to hear all these, bride stories, be a part of such an exciting step of the wedding process, and just making sure they feel confident and beautiful in, the dress that they're going to be wearing on their special day. So
that is not it though. You are married to an amazing partner. You have a beautiful pup. You have a wonderful relationship with your dad and your family and your in-laws and your cousins. And you volunteer for the revamp. You show up every time we need you at Bamboo. Anytime anybody calls, you are there. You're the first one to answer. You're the first one to show up. And you are just the ultimate hype girl. The ultimate, when you got my birth sister, Rachel, our mutual sister, when she was getting married, seeing you in the white dress was so fun because I've never seen you in that element. And it made so much sense because I'm oh, you are always boosting people up anyway.
I joke with my boss at that job. I'm can we change my title from bridal consultant to hype woman? Because I feel that just sounds more of what I do.
It's very correct. But also you pulled the perfect dresses. And then even at the revamp too, you're doing that on the floor. You're finding pieces, talking to people, making them feel good, making them feel special. You are just a true social butterfly, but you found a way to turn it into multiple business and income streams. So I'm curious why you work so many jobs. Like, tell me a little bit about that. Cause I feel like there's a lot of people curious about that kind of work lifestyle.
Mhm.
There's people interested in it. And you are one of the only people that I've known that have been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like just with how, you know,
trendy now.
right, I was gonna say, just because how, you know, the, you know, economy and things are now, a lot of people are grabbing, you know, these side hustles or, you know, second jobs, third jobs,
Mhm.
etc. I've just been somebody that just can't stop working. I truly don't know exactly what it is. It truly probably stems from my Capricorn energy. But I just like to always, you know, have something to do. I love to be kept busy. I love knowing that these jobs that I'm doing, you know, maybe they aren't, you know, the craziest, like a surgeon or a lawyer or something like that, but I do know that I make an impact to those that I, you know, come in contact with. And I feel like that's what's important. I feel like that's what really keeps me moving, is I don't necessarily pick jobs that are just fillers. I want these jobs to really help me grow, help others grow, and, you know, make sure that, yeah, I'm really creating like bonds and, you know, connections with others. I really think I'm a people person. Like you mentioned, I'm very social. So I'm definitely not keeping jobs that are, you know, staying behind a screen or kind of like staying in a corner. I definitely like to get out there, you know, stay active, and be, you know, out there in the community.
Well, I see how, I mean, it's like travel, gym, wedding. I feel like they all touch. Like when Rachel started her wedding process, you were like, I feel like you have social capital with the jobs that you have.
Yeah.
Even if you only work once a week or once a month, you're like, oh, I can help you on your wedding journey, the biggest journey of your life, homie. And then also I can bring you into a community that's like active and exercise. Cause I was not a gym girly. But we did bar at your bachelorette party.
I did. I was the crazy girl that made my girlies do a little workout.
And it was so good. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, I see you going to the gym every single morning, and I'm like, oh, I can't be like Nerissa.
No.
But then you like brought it to the table, and we're like, oh, here it is. Just try it. And I was like, oh, I could do that.
Right? I'd say definitely love the fact that, especially my gym job at Bar 3, just those classes and everything, those formats are definitely built for everybody. And it's, you know, all levels of activity. I used to play soccer my whole life. I played in college. I tore my ACL, so I didn't really play. But I used to be a sports girl, be very dedicated to my sport and things like that. So once I found Bar 3, it was like nice to know that, like, you know, yes, I was an athlete prior to this, but, you know, girls are coming from dance backgrounds, athlete backgrounds, non-athlete backgrounds, and we're all doing the same workout and getting the same, you know, great end result that we love. But yeah, I just like to stay close to my, you know, passions and my activities. So I guess that's why I kind of grab jobs that keep me,
Like,
you know,
oh,
to those things.
I on the back of my pocket and do the thing I was going to do anyway. It's such a smart way to do it. I'm wondering like how balance is not the word that I want to look for, because I feel like that's not the word we need right now. But like, how do you manage everything? Because you are like, and we'll talk about being a travel agent too, and like your journey in that career. But like,
How do I juggle my crazy
life? Planner.
Yes, I will admit I am a paper planner girly. If it is not written in ink in my planner, it's not happening. Don't tell me to go on my phone. I don't know. I haven't gotten the digital planner yet. I'm just very much like, if I physically write it down in ink, that means like in my head that it's permanent, it's happening, you know, that kind of thing. So I will say I live by my planner. I live by planning. I definitely plan my life out months in advance. I like to just, you know, I like to just keep my schedule known, and, you know, keep things in line, because yes, it tends to fill up, it tends to get busy. I will say though, another way I succeed, I feel like, in juggling my life is truly my partner. He really does step in those kind of like, you know, situations where I realize like, okay, you know, yeah, my Saturday job isn't too hectic in the fact that like I'm just helping women try on dresses all day. It's a great day. But then realizing when I come home, like, you know, my husband did this, that, the other thing while I was at work all day. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, the groceries did need to get done this weekend. You know, the lawn did need to get mowed. So it is really nice to have and appreciate a partner that, you know, understands that I am an active, busy girl, and he just, you know, helps fill in those gaps when, you know, life gets, you know, hectic, and he fills in the gaps at home where he's needed, and taking care of our pup and all those things. So having somebody that really supports me in my crazy lifestyle, even though he's more of like a homebody, is really amazing. It truly is.
I think that is a point that like we need to talk about more, like as like women, entrepreneurs, business owners, hustlers. Like it's hard to do stuff. It's hard to do it by yourself. Like, and if you want to do it in a way that's holistic, like having a community of people. So if you're not married or you're not in a relationship, like having friends that you could do stuff with, where it's like, I body double with Rachel all the time. I'm like, I need to do laundry and I just don't want to do it. So like, I'm just going to FaceTime you while I do it.
Accountability buddies, is very important.
Okay. What advice would you give to somebody that's like, I want to have a more active, whether it's like exercise or it's just more jobs or more activities? Because you go to concerts, you travel, you do all the things. Like you're like every time I go online, you're somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, but what advice do you have for us? Because like what I just learned this like as of yesterday, today. I made a decision yesterday. I was like, I work out at 6 a.m. And as you know, and people know that I've watched the show, but if you're new to the show, like I'm recently part-time in my day business, so I could be more full-time in my entrepreneurial business. And I floundered all of last month. I was like, what do I do with my hands? And I realized this morning that I was like, not this morning, but yesterday, that I need to create the space and the structure, like you said. And so I decided last night, I was like, I work out at 6 a.m. That is just what I do. And then I have to go do it. And I have to like do the action. So like, if I was a person that had not made that decision yet or made that distinction yet, what advice do you have for me?
Yeah, I would say it's all about routine. It's all about consistency. Specifically with the gym, it's just the hardest part is getting there, that kind of thing. But yeah, like you mentioned, being so busy, being so active, scheduling things out is very important, but also sticking to the plan. So it's similar to Amanda. I know how crazy and active my days can be. I usually schedule events after work or things to do. So that's why I as well personally work out every morning 5:30 a.m. That's why I know it's going to get done. I prioritize my health and my working out. So like if I, plan it for that time and get it done in that day, I just know it's going to get done. So that's how I kind of just plan things in my life, is that, I just want to make sure that everything is scheduled in a way and I commit to it so that it becomes routine, it becomes consistent. And then it just kind of just becomes second nature, if you will. Like people always ask me, like, how do you wake up every morning as early as you do? And I'm not gonna lie, having an alarm go off at 4:30 in the morning is not for the faint of heart. And it does take time to get used to. And granted, you don't have to start off that crazy. Start off half hour earlier than you certainly wake up, and then try to build up as you want to. But it's one of those things where like once you get in that routine and like your body starts to realize like, oh, this is the time she wants to wake up. Like I consistently wake up a couple minutes before my alarm now and just kind of like peek at the clock. I'm like, oh, I got 10 more minutes, that kind of thing, which is nice. But you just become accustomed to it, and then your brain and your body just start to understand like, oh, this is what we do, and it it all starts to flow. But it really does take time. Give yourself grace. I mean, there will definitely be mornings where you accidentally snooze, or you don't make it, and that's totally okay. But if you really can keep that routine very consistent and show up in the times that you need to show up, it's going to become second nature and hopefully easier as you go on.
Are you doing it every day, like Monday through Sunday? Are you only Monday through Friday? Like, tell me your routine, because you're crazy. No, it's not crazy. You have a vision and a goal, and you're doing the activities that are going to get you to achieve the goal. Like, it's not crazy, but majority of the people aren't doing it. That's the thing. And this morning when I was at the gym, I felt myself like getting teary-eyed. That's why I told you I was already like emotional today, because I was like, oh, I did the thing that I said I was going to do that is going to be required so that I live a life that I want. Like last week, I unfortunately had to spend most of the week at a funeral and a wake, and we were cleaning out the house of my husband, a family member of my husband. And it was just very clear at the funeral. I could see she was 80. She was very healthy. She was like beautiful. She looked gorgeous. And like, you could see during the wake procession, people's decisions in their lifestyle manifesting in their body. And I saw it in myself too. Like I had a gout flare up last week. And the last 2 times that I've traveled, I've had a gout flare up, which has caused me to have to go to urgent care and get a steroid shot. And I've done the things with my diet, but I fall off this wagon and I get in my head about the work that I have to do.
Right.
And this morning I was like, oh, the hardest part is mental.
100%.
It's mental, but I know what I need to do, and I just need to create the space for it. So like that, the piece about like making the goal and then participating in it. I was like, oh, I have to do the thing. And that's like how I have to reparent myself so I can live this life that I want and live it in a way that feels good and
Absolutely.
comfortable.
It's also nice to feel like you have control of your life as well too, and I feel like that's my biggest thing is like I like that I have control. Like I like that I know that I have the opportunity to wake up. Like I like also talking to myself in that way too. Like you are so blessed to be able to wake up today and move your body and things like that. But I do work out at Bar 3 Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. Birmingham, Royal Oak. We have 4 studios, but if you want to, I'm at one of those. 5:30 a.m. and Bar 3 has a combination of bar, cardio, and strength classes. So I take at least one of each during the week, Monday through Friday. I usually try to give myself a little bit of a break over the weekend. I am starting to get into a little bit of long distance running. I have a goal by the end of the year to do a little bit of a longer run, which I mentioned I played soccer when I was younger, but I just sprinted at time. I was very, very fast. Long distance running is not my thing. My brain just goes, "Why are you running?" But I'm learning that, so I am trying to run a little bit on the weekends, and we also have a Peloton that I'll, if I don't want to go to the gym necessarily, it is nice to have something at home, to be able to just jump on and continue that habit of working out and things. But I will say a big part of it though is, Amanda, is finding a workout that you enjoy. I after I got hurt in college and went through my knee surgery and like kind of lost my identity of being a soccer player, like trying to get back to the gym and like come up with workouts. Like I swear I was just going there, like walking on the tread at an incline for like half an hour. I'd look at the, free weights or maybe a couple machines and you do 1 or 2 things. And I'd be like, okay. And it's just like, I didn't walk away from the gym sessions feeling like I truly, did something. When you go to these workout classes, that what I love so much is that you got the 50-minute class, you have an instructor that's ensuring that you get, the optimal workout within the time frame. And then when I'm done, I feel like I did it, that kind of thing. So finding a workout that you truly enjoy, that helps you get out of bed, that helps you have that eagerness to go, is super important. Just finding like that spark for what gets you moving.
I love it. And I think you're such an inspiration in that way. And like, just knowing that you're going to be there, whether I go or not, is like one of those things where I'm like, well, if she can do it, I could do it. I used to be an athlete too. If she could do it, I could do it. I'm an athlete. Let's go. And I think and now I'm like, okay, we're doing the Let's Glow show. It's 8:30 or whatever time it is while you're watching. And I'm like, we've done a workout. We've started a load of laundry. I came back home and now we're starting the YouTube show. And I'm like, this is so much better than just like rolling out of bed and just like rushing to the computer and being like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let me put my brain on. It's like, no, I've already accomplished, things today. It's so nice to be like before, the sun gets up, like, wow, I've already, done this, that, the other thing. I really just like to optimize my time in a day because I could use more of it. So.
Yeah. And I think it's like at the funeral, and one of the things that I was thinking about was like, it's pennies in the jar. And like, I should be excited about the pennies and the sounds of the pennies in the jar rather than the full jar at the end of my life. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I need to like enjoy the pennies and I need to enjoy like the dollar investments every day, the 45-minute investment every day, so that like I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I made this commitment to me that I deserve to move my body for 45 minutes a day. I did get to, and I deserve it. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate you on that front. So tell me a little bit about how you ended up in the world of travel, other than the fact that you're like, I need to be everywhere, do everything all the time.
The fact that you just go on the go. I mean, it just makes sense.
Yes.
So realistically, after college, after I graduated, I went into HR. People person, obviously. So went into human resources. I did enjoy it. I hopped around to, different types of businesses too. I was like in manufacturing for a little bit, tech for a little bit within the HR space. But then COVID hit. And COVID was tough, specifically on HR. A lot of the decisions and policies and work came from HR. So like when everyone had those like months and months and months of like, nobody's going to work. No, I took one of those slips in the car with me in case somebody pulled me over and said, nope, I'm a, whatever you want to call it, I'm a legitimate worker that needs to go in today and work on all these unemployment applications. It It was very draining. I felt like I always had to be on. I never felt like I could turn off my Teams. You started to have like that. You hear the
Oh my
Teams
God, I will not. I hate Teams now.
trauma. But it was just one of those things where I started to learn that I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. And I think the true turning point for me was when my husband, just started to like tell me, he's like, you're just not yourself anymore. And I felt that, I really did. But then I was kind of sitting in this space where I was like, okay, well, what do I like? What am I passionate about? What do I want to, spend my time doing on a daily basis? It took me some time, I will admit. I was kind of dabbling in a lot of options and ideas and things like that. But finally, travel came around and I was like, okay, I like the idea of this, but how do you where do you start? How do you get involved? I was very naive. I had no idea what I was doing. I literally walked into my current agency in Birmingham because I was mentioning to friends, family, etc., that I was interested in this, and somebody was like, "Hey, I actually know of a travel agency in Birmingham. This, that, the other thing. Why don't you just go talk to the owner there?" So literally walked my butt in, asked if the president was there. Thankfully took time out of her day to just speak with me for a couple minutes. I told her how I was, passionate about this industry. I didn't know how to break into it though. And what are the steps? What do I have to do to get into it? And literally that one conversation, she just got a feel for me, my personality. And she went back to her office and wrote me up an offer letter. So it was a little untraditional, very.
But it's old school. It's old. It's like, it's not traditional now. But you like, that is a gem right there, y'all. Like, if you want something, you have to get up and go get it.
And travel agents, as some people might be thinking on this podcast right now, it's like it's an old school thing. People are probably thinking, why travel agents? Like, those are still out there. Yes, we exist. We're a very thriving industry. But yeah, it was one of those things where like I didn't know what I didn't know, and I wanted to ask a professional who did. And I wasn't expecting the conversation to go so amazingly and end up the way it did, but I'm so thankful that I took that opportunity. Of course, it was intimidating and scary to just ask to talk to a owner of a business without knowing them or having any insight on what truly travel is about.
Tell me about, like, I want to do like a zoom in. Okay, so you're like, I'm gonna go talk to this lady. Then what happens? Like, what goes through your brain? How do you process through, like, was there a point where you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do this? Like, tell me how you worked through it, because like, it doesn't seem like you have cold call experience. You might have you might be like, you're comfortable like talking to people, but like no cold call experience. You're not like the kind of person that's just like knocking on doors. And if somebody wants to replicate, I'm just kind of curious how you went through the process, like mentally.
Yeah. So I think the key to me being successful in that realm was just, being honest with myself and, being completely transparent. So when I went into the agency, I was to the point where I had dabbled in trying to get involved in travel agency stuff. I actually got involved in something that was a little bit more pyramid schemey rather than actual travel agent, independent contractor work. So that was kind of why I definitely wanted to go into the agency though. I walked in saying, I tried this route. I'm starting to do this. Is this correct? Like, is this the correct way to get into this business, in this industry? And when my president first was like, what are you doing? So from the start, I was like, oh, if this business professional in the field does not know what I'm getting involved in, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. It was that honesty. I told her I didn't know where to start. I found this one route that seemed kind of promising, but I'm not sure if it is. And it was nice to talk to her and have her be like, no, not
actually, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Actually, that's a bit sketchy. So thankfully, I got to have that conversation with her. But yeah, it was being vulnerable, and I will say I'm a very confident person usually. So usually my vulnerability tends to be my downfall. So it was really nice to be uncomfortable for a second and just let her know, that I was passionate, that I had that drive and wanting to do it. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to start. So she obviously felt that within the conversation. So I really do think that part of it really is, how you approach the person and how you speak on how you feel about what you want. I didn't do it in a way that was like begging for a job. It was explaining to her the route that I took and how I like want to be where I want to be, but like is this, how I do it? And she was thankfully helpful to, wanting to be helpful and help me out. And now she is my mentor, and I've learned so much from her in the past 2.5 years. But it's just, it's something that I wouldn't have known if I didn't just take that leap of faith to just talk to somebody and ask.
I think that is I think the theme that I'm hearing is you set a goal and you take the actions to get to it, and you take the routes that are clear and in front of your face.
Yep.
And it's the sooner you act, this is what, for those of you that are thinking, how do I be more like Nerissa? I think Nerissa just does shit and just does it and doesn't think too much about what the consequences of it after are. Because I think if you see a straight line, just go to the straight line. And I think we can all be a little bit more of that. Because for me, I might have been but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, my first job when I was working at the publication, I was sitting in the front row, and my former boss was on the panel. And after she got off the panel, I just made a beeline to her, and I was like, I do events. I'm graduating in 3 months. What you got?
Right.
What you got? And I worked there for 4 years and learned so many things. But I think it was more of actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you just got to shoot the shot.
Yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And you're not going to know anyone if you don't speak up and talk to people.
You gotta ask.
Make that connection. You never know where it can lead. And I will say that lead to even going to that agency was from a past ex-boyfriend spot. You never know what will still do you well later in life. So always be kind to everyone and keep strong.
Keep them strong. Some bridges, if they're burnt already, leave them burnt. But going forward, we can put a little pebble down. We could stepping stones. But I love that approach, and I love that the thought about life just being present opportunity. What can I do now? Mm-hmm. How can I take advantage of it? And let's just see where it goes. Just optimize the day. And it would be so much quicker to just walk in than send an email and wait for somebody to be
exactly
interested enough to talk to me. Mm-hmm. I think that
could have been a no the first time I walked in there, but at least you walked in there, made face, and then maybe you schedule a meeting. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's not oh, she can sit down right now.
Yeah.
But it's putting out the effort and showing to them I didn't just send an email from my bed stating that I'm passionate and want to be involved. I got my butt out of bed, got here physically, and asked for a meeting. So I do think even that step shows just that eagerness and that drive to I'm going to do what I got to do to get what
figure it out. And I'm sure you do that for your clients too. So in what world would people need and want to use a travel agent? Because I feel you said it already. It's it seems old school, but also for me, I feel I'm constantly at this point where, and I'm working on getting better with you. At one day I'll be I'm going to say it right now. We want to go on vacation in January.
We manifest. That's also a big part of my life. We manifest.
Yes, but I'm telling you now, because we always want to go on vacation for our birthdays and we never do the planning. Mm-hmm. So who should be calling you? And when do I need a travel agent? And do I need a travel agent?
So I will say anyone and everyone can use a travel agent. Granted, but at the same time, anyone and everyone can book their own travel. People that want or use a travel advisor are truthfully people that, one, might not have the time planning trips, especially large ones to different countries, places you've never been, et cetera, et cetera. They take a lot of research. They take a lot of time. And travel advisors have that knowledge, that confidence, those connections to ensure that you're going to the right places, meeting the right people, staying at safe places, et cetera, et cetera. So people that just don't have the time. I mean, I know me personally, I work full days. It's not I want to come home and then spend 5 hours researching a place that I want to go, travel to. Sometimes it's just, you don't have that extra, time to really research as deeply as you might like to. Also for those, that are traveling to new places they've never been, we have all the connections and things that will make you feel more confident in going to a new place. Even myself, if I were to fly off and jet off to Tokyo, I'm not going to pretend I'm going to land and feel super, I know exactly what I'm doing. It's nice to just have, a backup from a travel advisor to give you, tips, tricks, or even just helping you logistically to ensure you get from the airport to your hotel safe and sound, all those things. So realistically, our biggest tagline is you can't VIP yourself. So truthfully, you can book anything on your own, but having the luxury of a travel agent almost as like a concierge to you is extremely beneficial to some people. I just think, I am a planner. It's very natural to me. So when it comes to, planning these trips out, things like that, it's just, I'm very confident in it. And sometimes people, that's just not how some people are. Sometimes they, get lost in the sauce of all the, things that come about when trying to plan a trip. And it's just,
I usually just give up. I just either give up, and I don't end up planning it, or we stress plan. Or we stress plan.
Yeah, you stress plan too late, which granted we do that. I instead of you. But yeah, it's just really, figuring out what what kind of service you want. It's truthfully a service being a travel advisor. And granted, you might not need me for every trip. If you're just going to, an Airbnb up north, I book those, on my own. You don't necessarily need an agent.
But we want to go to the Philippines. And to me, I was I actually told my mom yesterday that you'd mentioned a tour in the Philippines in March, and just throwing it out there. We need a group of 12. So just throwing it out there. But I don't when I pitched it to my mom, she was just like, "Oh, we could just go stay at a friend's house." And I'm like, "Okay, but if we take 2 weeks and we stay at your friend's house, what are we going to do for 2 weeks?" And also do I have to share a bedroom? Not that matters, but also I'm going to bring my husband. What is the can you send me pictures of what the room looks like? And she's like, "No."
Are we getting to and from? How do I go to this island? You want to go to this island one day?
Yeah. What are we going to do? How are we not going to put out our potential hosts? 12 days is a long time. And so just thinking about travel to the Philippines is overwhelming to me. Yeah. But I'm I want to do it in a way that's really thoughtful, intentional, but I don't have the mental space to plan it.
Exactly.
And so Nerissa, we're going to need you.
And sometimes too is with those travel styles similar to the Philippines that me and Amanda have been speaking on, is there's also travel styles that people just aren't even aware of. You don't just have to buy the plane ticket and show up to a location and that be it. You just kind of figure it out. Granted, some people like to travel that way, and I do too, which is fine. Yeah. There's so many other ways to travel. Like Amanda mentioned, that guided travel where they literally have itineraries broken down, telling you what you're doing within those 12 days, how you're getting to and from these islands, and it's just all provided for you. Not to mention, you also have a guide who kind of ensures everyone in these groups gets to and from safely. But also, sometimes you're in a new country and you're walking around and you're like, "Ooh, what's that? Oh, who's that? What are they doing over there?" It's nice to have a guide to help you, explain that. "Oh, that's the hospital," or "Oh, it's the second Sunday of the month, so it's a celebration of this." It's one of those things where you get that extra level of getting engulfed in the country and their culture that you might not get just walking around by yourself.
Google, looking it up, because Google's definitely SEO optimized, and the people that have the more ad dollars are going to invest in Google. So if you search restaurants to eat, you might not actually get the real thing. You're going to get maybe whoever's got the best Google ads, and then you're going to just click on that, and you might go in there and it's hot garbage.
Right. And like I said, anyone can go do that. And it's not that, we downfall that. Anybody is capable of doing that. But it is nice to know that not only can I get you to tell me what you're hoping for in your trip, but I can, kind of match you up with a travel style that ensures you're getting the type of trip you want, because travel is also not cheap. Travel is truly a luxury. So I'd hate for, you and I to go to the Philippines for 2 weeks and half our time is us sitting on our phones trying to figure out how to get to and from, trying to figure out the things we want to do. When we be enjoying following a guide and he's telling us what we want to go see.
Turn my brain off, please. And I feel it's for me, it makes sense. When we went to Jamaica, we used a travel agent. This was before, long before you were a travel agent. And so that was such a good experience because she was here's where you get picked up. Here's where you get picked off. You have this, you have that. But the thing we haven't gone back to a travel agent after that because we had the resort experience for the first time. And we were I don't know if we like the resort. I don't know if we liked sitting at the resort.
Sure.
And then we were getting sold all these packages while we were at the resort. And we were just feels really expensive adult summer camp.
Mhm.
Like, everybody's, like, looking at us, like, asking what we're gonna do next, and I'm like, "I don't know, just, like, I wanna sit down, just, like,
Me alone.
please leave me alone." But, like, also, we didn't wanna be left alone, we wanted to, like, go and travel and tour, but they were like, "Don't leave the resort, da, 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 it's dangerous," and we were just kinda like,
First
"Well."
off, Jamaica is a wonderful place to go explore. The people
Yeah,
are so nice.
yes,
I love the Jamaican people. But that's the thing, a travel agent will know. There are certain places where I might be like, it might be, beneficial to stay on the resort, or if you were to venture off, to definitely take a, private transfer, not just like a cab off the street, things like that. So it's just, having that kind of, knowledge and confidence to tell my clients how to better prepare themselves so they have, like I mentioned, a trip that they want. Because like I said, if you and Breeze where people are like, okay, we love the resort, but would have loved to take a trip into town, like I would have planned something for you. So then like,
yeah,
oh, you guys will feel confident. On this day, we'll have a private transfer with you for like 4 hours. They'll take you downtown. They'll wait there until you're set, and then they'll bring you back. So it's just really concierge style. It's really you telling me what you're really wanting out of a trip and me crafting it to be hopefully the trip of your dreams.
yeah,
At the end all be all. And then when it comes to travel agents, granted, I am considered an in-house agent as of right now. So I work for my agency. A lot of travel advisors who want to do the side hustles or just be more entrepreneurial, they're independent contractors. So they pretty much are running their business. They are running their clientele the way they want to. I will get there one day. But
yeah,
no, those type of travel agents do come with planning and research fees. So like right off the get-go, they're going to tell you like, I have a fee of X amount, and this is what it costs for me to even start quoting you, looking into options for you, et cetera, et cetera. That can be a downfall to some people because they're like, oh,
yeah,
now I'm paying more. But you have to see it from our perspective as travel advisors. I
doing the
think,
work.
yeah, I'd say we're doing all the background work.
Yeah,
So these people want to be, they keep hearing about these travel advisors and how, they're like, oh, let me do that as my side hustle and make a
yeah,
quick buck. What they don't know about this industry is that we don't get paid until after travel is complete. So
mm,
there could be somebody, let's just take Amanda, for example. She
yeah,
wants to travel in January. So I'm going to start today at work. I'm going to start researching. I'm going to start planning it for her, et cetera, et cetera. Get it all planned out. Let's say come end of September or whatever, we got the trip planned. It's all good. We start planning all of our excursions, doing
yeah,
dinner reservations, whatever. We get to, let's say, Thanksgiving, and something happens with someone in Amanda's family, or something happens to their house that it's like, oh, wasn't expecting that.
yeah,
Well, it could be something where it could cause the trip to be canceled, or maybe they're not going anymore. So then, in my perspective, as a travel agent, I work in house, so it doesn't matter. I still get paid. But
yeah,
other agents' perspectives, they're going to go through and cancel that trip for you because obviously that's the best case scenario for you. But then they look at their time, energy, and everything spent, and they're not going to make a dime off it because those, resorts and airlines and things like that will not pay us out unless travel is made. So, it's one of those things where like you have to understand that we take all this time and energy working prior to your trip to eventually potentially not make money if you don't go or things like that. So that's why they have that kind of pre-deposit fee. Every agent's a little bit different. So it's definitely
yeah.
something that I'll just discuss with whatever agent you're working with to make sure you
How
know
do
the
you find how do I know I got a good agent for myself? Like, is it on vibes? Is it like a real estate agent? If you're like, okay, we vibe, you understand the way I think, you understand my vibe, I like your connections. Like, how do I know I found the right agent for me?
Yeah, so when it comes to travel agents, I would say I would kind of describe them similar to like realtors, in the fact that like you can work with whatever agent you work best with. We should all hopefully have access to the same kind of suppliers and things like that. I will say I'm in technically my agency is in the luxury space, but that does not mean I only sell luxury. It just means that I have a little bit more access, contracts, and things that we have negotiated with higher end accommodations and things like that that make us a luxury agency. But that doesn't mean that I have to book you luxury. I can book lead-in rooms. I book lead-in rooms, main cabin. I'm not a first-class girly. I do not have the funds. So note that like just because an agent says they're luxury, things like that, they usually can provide other types of travel as well. But realistically, I kind of when people ask me why to use a travel agent, me, you get to work. I get to assist you. I get to be your personal concierge. I get to make sure that you are cared for pre, during, after the trip, all that good stuff. Obviously, you want to ensure your agent is, credited with an agency.
Working for a pyramid scheme.
But realistically, I mean, like a realtor, I mean, it's just who you trust and who you want to spend your time working with during that process of planning a trip. Granted, there are some agents that are more seasoned than others, have been to more places, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, I know agents that have also, been in the industry for 40 years, and I've traveled more places than them. So it's kind of just like what you're hoping for and what you're looking for out of an agent, and how they kind of like respond. I would say I'm very responsive. I'm almost overly responsive sometimes. So it's just kind of, ensuring that you get that kind of relationship is really what it comes down to with an agent. I really want my clients to feel like, they know that I cared for every step of their trip, and knowing that it's not just like, cookie cutter, like, oh, you want to go to Jamaica? Here's the same thing that I book every Jamaican couple. No, I want to sit, listen to your travel styles, what your passions and interests are. Because if I have a client, similar to my husband, he's not really a beach guy. He's a pool guy. So if I send them to a resort that only has one pool and focuses on beach club, and we have a great time, but it's one of those things where I'm going to take those things into consideration to ensure that you're getting a trip that is tailored to you, not just, because it's the best of the best, resort or XYZ. I try to find trips that, make sense for my clients and who they are.
I love it. And I think it's making more and more sense to me, like why a travel agent is required, because like you're taking all the legwork out for me and you're making sure that everything is completed. It's complete, and like, I feel like the last couple trips Breezy and I took, we just like rush planned it. And there was all these missing pieces, and we're on the trip and literally like looking like, where do we go today? What are we supposed to do? And it's stressful. We get short with each other because we're like, we only have 24 hours of the day. We don't, and then next thing we know, we're exhausted because we've been using our brain so much to figure out what we're going to do while we're there, It's all good. Yeah, you started turning into a very
the sun is sunning right now, so
it looks good. You were just like
she was just getting okay, sorry.
Okay, we're already at 40 minutes, but I want to bring up one more thing about you that I recently learned is that you have a bucket list for before you turn 30.
I do. I actually just signed up for something today, actually. So funny you bring
Tell us about this and like why you're doing it, because your list is long. Like, I feel like it's long. You have 6 months to complete it. No, now however many months left. Not to like stress you out, but like you did this to yourself, and I'm curious. And I would also like to follow suit. So tell us a story.
I love a challenge. It definitely was something I saw trending around where people are talking about 30 before 30. So I did start the process a little later than most. Usually they give themselves a year plus to complete 30 things to do before they're 30. I started the challenge in June, and I turned 30 on Christmas this year. But like I mentioned, I love a challenge, but also I love just like getting out of my comfort zone. I want to try new things, or, just, complete some goals that I've been, trying to complete. It really was random though. Like, how did you pick what you picked? I was like, I don't know. I just want to do certain things. So I really did tailor it to like what I wanted to accomplish and what I wanted to do. I also did tailor it to certain trips I knew I was taking. Like, I knew I was going to New York this fall, so I put some like New York-esque like things that I can only do in New York on my list. But that's the thing. I planned my life so far in advance. I know it was going to be accomplished in those 6 months. But I don't know. It was just a fun way to keep myself going, to break out of my, weekly routine a little bit, to be able to do something different. Yeah. The one that we just signed up for this morning was a self-defense class, because what I wanted to do was learn a little bit of more self-defense. Okay. So, defense class next week. But yeah, it's just like things that I've wanted to try, things I've wanted to do, and just giving myself a deadline, because I love me a deadline.
Yes.
Make sure things are completed.
Okay, so like, is there anything that you've done so far that you're like, oh, this was amazing, I wish I would have done sooner? Okay, you're gonna pull the list. Show the list. It's got emojis and everything. It's got vibes. Like,
really does. I was about to say, so it has like all the like different emojis and things next to them. But it also makes me like be with certain people. Like I knew that some of these things I was going to be doing with certain people. Like one of my things is like learn how to make pasta from scratch. Michael's sister is an amazing cook and baker.
Oh.
She has like the thing. So I'm like, I'm going to make like a little night with my, family night with Michael's, family. We can have, be with our niece. So I kind of was intentional in those kind of aspects as well. I would say my my one that I've already checked off that I absolutely loved was go on a Caribbean cruise.
Yeah.
I went on one in July, which, mind you, I knew I was going on it. So,
so you put it on the list. Yeah. Smart. Got some low hanging fruit, but that's a big one.
I'm going to complete the list, though, so that's what matters. But with that, I've really never been a cruiser when it came to the way that I travel. I'm very much like on foot, like let's walk through a city in 60,000 steps a day, which I still do. But it was really nice to go on a Caribbean cruise. It was super fun, super like perfect mix of relaxing, but also like partying, that kind of thing, being in the Caribbean. But yeah, that's definitely something that I did where I'm like, this will not be my last. I will definitely be going a couple more of those in my lifetime.
Anything on your list that was like, this will be my last? Actually,
my last. I did a cold plunge, which I love me a cold plunge.
Yes.
I put on my 30 before 30 to do a 5-minute cold plunge, and usually they suggest 3 minutes. So I don't know who I was trying to impress. It was very cold.
Yourself.
I did 5 minutes, but I'll never do it again. I am 3 minutes or under, which is just as beneficial to your body.
Yeah.
So yes, no more 5-minute cold plunging. We'll continue to cold plunge though, because it's good for your body and all that. But that was definitely one where not again.
Yeah. Anything on your list that you're like most excited for in the next however many months? For your birthday.
Eating at a Michelin star restaurant. That's the one that like I put down there that I don't have a plan for. So I'm still in the like researching phase of when I want to do that. Like, will I do that in New York? Will I do that somewhere home? Or maybe even Texas. I'm visiting my friend in Texas. So Texas is a good place to look. I've never had an experience of eating at such like a high level of class. So excited for that.
I love it. How did you come up with your list? Were you just like, let me just brain dump? Or, I mean, it sounds like you were like, there's some things for sure I plan, some things for sure I've always wanted to do, but like the fillers, tell me.
I was looking at just like bucket list ideas and, just looking up, bucket list items, things to complete. I definitely looked at a couple other 30 before 30 type lists. But yeah, I tailored it to me. There's things that I just really wanted to do, try and, all that good stuff. So I just, make it what you want. It doesn't have to be crazy hard things. It can just be, fun thing. Like one of my things is like go play pickleball. Me and Michael have still not played pickleball. It's August. Like it's not a hard thing. Like we just need to go. It's just like
I've also never played pickleball. So, if you need to play doubles, like let me know.
Things we're like, we have everything we need. There are new ball courts right at the park. It's just I needed something to make me do it. I know that this list is gonna make me do it.
Okay. Do you see yourself doing another challenge like this? Like, is this something you want to continue to do? Are you going to do it every year? Or are you like, tell me like how you're feeling about that?
I really do like it. It has been a little hectic because I have to like figure out how to plan out everything in this time.
Like, don't truncate it so short.
Short of a time frame to complete. I probably will do something like this again, like a all-encompassing bucket list. But I think just like having like goals, like even like one of my goals on that list is like to read a certain amount of books. Like I'm definitely going to keep that year to year. Like I will definitely be trying to hit a certain number of books that I read every year. So maybe not like always having a million different like things to check off, but a couple things that like with my workout classes, just setting another goal, like, I hope to hit, X amount more workout classes in the next year, things like that. So maybe not as encompassing as like a full like list, but I definitely set goals usually yearly just to keep me going, keep me motivated.
Yeah. Are you like do it on New Year's person, or you do it on your birthday, or you're like, I do a completely different day?
I will say I'm usually a New Year's girl. The world knew putting me as a Capricorn. Like I get to start, I get to end my year. They knew they wanted me to be like one of the last days.
Yes.
Fun fact: my due date was actually January 1st. So
really,
yes, my due date.
But you're a Christmas baby now, so
I was meant to be on a birthday though.
Yes.
I definitely try to use the beginning of the year as like my time, just because it works out for my life and like my age and everything, and just how it all works out. It's just easier for me to just set the new year straight with goals and things like that. But realistically, like I just did it in June. Like I didn't even have a rhyme or reason for the date I started that. So, you can always hop on a challenge, but I will say I usually try to do things yearly just because it's easier for me to kind of see the full encompassing year. But you can start challenges whenever. Start one today.
Yeah, start one today. I'm gonna make a challenge for myself I'm gonna make a list for myself and I'm gonna share it with you and we'll see how it goes. And like just to try, because I feel like you're
complete it. Who cares? I mean, you can do it later on, but just being like, oh, I'm gonna try to do this by the end of the year. X, Y, Z. It's just it's kind of put a timeline on things because then it really pushes you to complete it rather than just saying you're gonna do the thing.
Right. I feel like I was thinking about that on the way to bar this morning. I was like, I feel like I need a goal. Because like the goal to go every day at 6 is okay, but like I don't know if it's strong enough to like keep me going when it gets tough, And so like you got me thinking, if I've learned anything today is do the thing, set some goals, make a plan, do the plan.
Amen. Amen.
Love it. All right. 2 more things before we go. 1, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram for travel is Nerissa Zoller Travel, or my personal Instagram is Nerissa Zoller. I'm private, but you can message me. But yeah, usually my Instagram is usually the best place to find me right now. I do have a couple like other like travel specific like sites, but realistically the links are all through my Instagram, so I'd probably direct you there. Or I also have a Facebook page called Zoller Travel where I put a lot of different like promotions of different things that are going on, or just like inspo, ideas, wanderlust kind of things to get you excited about traveling and destinations to go to, all that good stuff.
Amazing. And then the final question is, what's one last piece of advice you have for our listener today?
My biggest piece of advice that I feel like I live my life by is that everything happens for a reason. And to just, dive into it. Just let life take you, because obviously, things are happening for that reason. So just, strap in, enjoy the ride and see where life takes you. But like, going back to, seeing myself in college, yes, I had an entrepreneurship degree. So I knew I had this kind of mindset that I wanted, but like, I never in a million years thought I would end up in travel. And it's crazy because I love travel, but you just never know what you don't know. So definitely just, see where life takes you and, enjoy the ride, and also manifest that shit because that works. Manifest what you want. It happens. It works. The universe is with you. So manifest what you want because it helps you succeed. It really, really does.
And it's like, I can see the manifestations happening for you in real time, like knowing you as like literally a toddler and seeing you go through elementary school, high school, college, and like seeing all the ebbs and flows. And I remember, and this is just the story, but I remember when you hit me up after you left that HR position and I was like, wanna come work with me at Bamboo? And like watched you figure out the travel thing. You're like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go in full time. I'm ready to go in. And just like, you never hesitated. That's the one thing I noticed. It's like, there's no hesitation in your system and I'm gonna just do it. Just do it.
Keep
and
going.
Just see what happens. And if it doesn't work, okay. If you can't commit, it's a no. If you can, it's a yes, and you're all in. And so
if one thing doesn't work, there's always something else. You just got to keep going.
Got to keep playing the game. Got to keep playing. Well, I love you so much. I would love to do a follow-up in like a year from now and see like how many things that you've done, how many things we've accomplished, and just like recap. And also I need to see you so we can have Rachel watch K-pop Demon Hunters, because I'm like,
it's getting bad. Like we have to.
If you have frankly,
go see the movie. But my goal then, Amanda, for if we're going to do like a 1-year recap, is my goal by the next time we have this podcast together, I hope to be independent. I hope to be my own travel agent working with my own clients. So we'll see. That'll be around 3 years or so. So I'm really hoping to get there.
What is my 1-year goal for me for our next conversation is that I would like to have paid ads on this page. And have the revamp be like a full-blown entity that's paying me a salary. And I would like to maintain my consistency with the workouts. That's what. So actually, Nerissa, you just changed the trajectory of the show for forever and ever and ever. We're going to set a goal at the end.
Yay.
So for you watching, I would like you to put your goal for this episode and maybe just make it a 1 week goal, or you can make it a 1 year goal. Make 2 goals. Make a 1 week goal. So when I see you next week, follow back up. And then when Nerissa comes back on the show, we need to follow up. So my 1 week goal is to go to bar every day at 6.
Love that.
During the week. What's your 1 week goal?
My 1 week goal, I'm working on long distance running. I got to run my 3 miles this week. I got to run 3 miles. I don't know when, but I'm going to run them.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it.
We'll find the time.
Oh, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being such a beautiful human in my world, being my sis, being my friend, being my co-creator, collaborator, all of the things. I'm so grateful. I love you. And all of you, I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. Just a quick note, the revamp is coming up September 13th at Detroit Shipping Co. We would love to see you there. So get your closets ready now. Don't wait till the last second. We know it. It's coming. September 13th, Detroit Shipping Co. Bring all your old stuff and make your closet ready because you're going to fill it up. Thank you so much. It's Amanda Sweet. You're on the Let's Glow Show, and I will see you next week. Bye.